Hey everyone, it's the Patient Hodler coming at you with another video, and in this one we are going to talk about the latest development in the crypto market to provide some context. We are therefore going to talk about Celsius and MtGox, and we are going to talk about some bullish news for Veve. But before we start, please keep in mind that I'm a crypto and NFT investor and not your financial advisor. So please do your own research before you ape into the Ecomi token or the Veve Collectibles. Also, if you enjoy this type of content, please consider dropping a like, subscribe to my channel, and let me know in the comments below what you think about the development in the crypto market and these bullish Veve news. Liking, subscribing and commenting is a free way of helping my channel to grow, so I would be really grateful if you could do this for me. And if you want to do more than that, I have a link to my Patreon in the description, or there's also the option on the channel directly to become a channel member and therefore a rare hodler to my channel. And at this point I want to thank my rare hodlers for always supporting my journey and making it possible that I can come out here and take these videos for you. But with that out of the way, let's get started. As always, let's start out with a quick context of situation, because I think that it's always important that we know what is happening in the market currently, and that is mainly that we know which direction Bitcoin is headed. We have seen a little relief rally in the last days, and now we got some new information and some new timelines coming up that could change the game. So for us that are looking to accumulate more Ecomi tokens, for example, and that are overall concerned with the security of our digital assets in the space, we should always know what's going on. So the first one that I have here for you is that Celsius has actually paid back the $41 million loan to Maker DAO and was able to retrieve 15,000 wrapped Bitcoin, and many people are speculating whether they are going to convert these Bitcoin into normal Bitcoin, so from wrapped Bitcoin into normal Bitcoin, to maybe offer some Celsius users to withdraw Bitcoin, or if they are going to liquidate those 15,000 Bitcoin into the market to be able to stabilize the situation, also maybe at cost of their original users and investors. And I tend to say there's probably the latter, that they are going to liquidate those Bitcoin, which would mean that there is another 15,000 Bitcoin flowing into the markets. As a second point here on my list, I have the crypto exchange MtGox, and this exchange was the first to go down way back, like 8 years ago. That exchange went down, where investors were losing a total of 850,000 Bitcoin, and it was at the time a big headline, a big problem, a big disaster. But I bet 99% of us cannot remember these times because we were not in the crypto market at that time. I was not in the crypto market at the time, so I can only look back on the data. But what's happening right now is that the trust that is actually handling the whole situation and is working on getting people some refunds is coming out now, claiming that people that were affected at the time can actually withdraw in total 150,000 Bitcoin, and there is apparently 3 options how they can get it. One would be directly in Bitcoin, one would be in Bitcoin Cash, and the other one would be in form of, I think it's a stable coin, or in direct US dollars. So depending on which form people are choosing, this could either mean when they withdraw Bitcoin that they are continuing to hold those Bitcoin, but now maybe get them onto a cold wallet. The people that are choosing US dollars, that would mean that it would be a liquidation of these Bitcoin. And considering that these were basically holders that were forced to hold since 8 years, they are heavily in the plus with Bitcoin still, and might seek to liquidate some of these Bitcoin to be able to do something else with the money involved. So this is another potentially 150,000 Bitcoin that could come into the market at this very unfortunate time. So we need to be aware of this. Although I believe that is probably not going to be 100,000 Bitcoin dump at once, but more like a trickling effect where people just redeem, hold, where people get it off the exchange, where some people liquidate, some people get it directly in US dollars, and only a smaller amount is being liquidated. So I don't think it will be that disastrous of a dump of expecting 100,000 or 150,000 even Bitcoin flowing into the market at once, but there could be still a significant amount of Bitcoin coming into the market just because of MtGox. So this is something to keep in mind, that with Celsius and MtGox there's a total of potentially 165,000 Bitcoin additionally in the market that was locked up before. Now, as a third point and last point of this context that I want to provide is that we are expecting for the US to come out at the 13th of July with the CPI numbers for June. And the forecast of those CPI numbers is 8.8%, which is, I think, 0.5% above the previous month. That is expected despite the rate hike of 75 basis points that we've seen before, and in combination with another potential 75 basis points rate hike or even higher, we can also expect to have more downwards pressure on the stock market. And as Bitcoin at the moment is highly correlated with the stock market, there could be more downwards pressure coming just because of that. And as we can see in the chart here, between the forecasted CPI numbers and the real CPI numbers, there's always a slight difference in the last months of 0.2, 0.3% to the upside of the actual CPI numbers. So it could be that we are going to see over 9% then heading to double-digit inflation rates. And that, in my opinion, could cause another big dump also for Bitcoin, for the stock market, especially for the S&P 500. Just to keep that all in mind, in my opinion, is important when we are also looking into potential other entry points for the Ecomi token. And as I've said many times before, it is not unnatural to have 40, 50, 60, 70% relief rallies in this crypto market, because we have seen that in other bear markets as well, up to 100% relief rallies on crypto. Now let's get into the Veve and Ecomi related news, and the first one that I want to show you guys here, I've posted that yesterday on Twitter. So if you are not following me on Twitter yet, please head over to Twitter and hit the follow button. You could get some pretty cool information from time to time there, and also you will always know when I upload a video. And I have yesterday watched the newest video of Logan Paul, how he seek to acquire one of the rarest PSA 10 Pokemon cards, the Illustrator Pokemon card in the world, and he spent a total of 5.2 million or so on this Pokemon card. And that in itself is insane to see these assets going for such prices. And if we think to digital collectibles, that also can give us a hint of what scarce collectibles could be worth one day. But the most important one in this video is that a familiar face for us in the Comey Fam, in the Veve Fam, was appearing in this video as well, helping Logan Paul getting to this Pokemon card, finding another card to put down. And that was Jeremy Padawer, that I also mentioned in the tweet, who actually responded in a funny way, saying that he is like Forrest Gump, somewhat appearing somewhere in the background from time to time. Fact of the matter is that we see that all of the people that we have here, or the bigger ones that are somehow in the periphery of the Veve app, have something to do with Pokemon. So there's obviously Alfred Kahn, who is basically the father of Pokemon. Without him, we would not have Pokemon in that way. There is David Yu, who has been responsible to sell Pokemon collectibles in the APEC region. And then obviously we have Jeremy, that is also very bullish on Pokemon, that is a collector that has good ties in these Pokemon collectible scene. And then it is not surprising that he can also help out with some really good contacts to make this Pokemon card change the user from a Pokemon collector to Logan Paul. Next up, we have zacpaoni on Twitter, who actually claims that he bets that Veve has told these big influencers that are walking in the periphery of the Veve app not to talk about Veve just yet, and not to promote Veve, and not to show off Veve Collectibles, because they want to keep flying under the radar until everything around KYC, payout, even the gem cash in via Android and Apple is substituted through the web app cash in, so that they don't have to double down with the 30% fee on these gems. So there is a lot of milestones to achieve before they can even think of mass adoption. And technically, the fact that they have this very big app with all these licensors, that is somehow bullish news, obviously, for us that are in early, and it's also a smart move to not promote the app just yet if you are not ready, and if it would just cost you too much, and if you have the partners on board as well, that they would stick to you and commit collectibles even though you are not ready to fulfill a broad mass adoption marketing strategy. That is also really, really bullish, because I mean, it is hard to tell someone like Disney or someone like DC and all these sub-brands like Star Wars, Marvel, tell them that while they are coming out with their movies and with their new games and collectibles, that the app for the NFTs is not ready yet to promote a mass adoption advertisement campaign, and that they will have to wait. And still, they don't cancel the contracts, they don't walk away from the Veve app, they stick with the Veve app, they still commit the big drops to the Veve app. So in my opinion, this is very interesting to see. And actually, we have had before an article where a journalist was reporting on Disney and Disney's metaverse and NFT strategy, and they have even mentioned golden moments without mentioning the Veve Collectibles and without mentioning the Veve app. And that in itself is not a big thing, a big deal to find that out. I have said it many times before, I believe that it was left out in this article on purpose, that Disney only gave them basically interview parts or information if they leave it out. And yes, I really want to see how this development turns out once they are ready and once it's not the problem anymore to report on this. Next on my list is another tweet that I found very interesting, and that was someone who brought out the news that Sandbox is partnering with one of the biggest amusement parks in Korea. And he claims that most of these companies that they're working with NFTs and metaverse, they should be thinking not only in short-term marketing, but really partnering up with the big players out there in the world, like these event parks, and think of possible engagement with NFTs and metaverse. Well, if there was only a project with a token and a collectibles app that has ties to Disney and Disneyland, and if there was only an app that has ties to these big companies like Warner Bros. And DC and USPS and movies like James Bond, well, that would be a big deal, right? If companies just would do that, that would... How can we find a company like that? There is another interesting development from the community project Fishes that is created by Brockmac Blockchain, and he has teased us with a little screenshot of the Fishes NFTs, and suddenly there are some of the bubbleheads and mermicornos appearing also in the list of these NFTs. And these NFTs are used in the fish tanks in some aquariums where you can actually build your own customized fish tank aquarium. And you can use these also in the play to earn, play to burn game, Fish Arena, to battle with the fishes in robo suits. And the interesting thing is, now we have been teased with these icons. Could that mean that we have the first utility in game for these collectibles, for the bubbleheads or Marvel bubbleheads, for the mermicornos, that we actually can put them in these games? Can we battle with them? We do not have new information on that, but it's certainly something that is very interesting to see, because that means that these are actually usable to put in a game, that these are actually coming with additional utility, and this obviously can drive the price up of the bobbleheads if it hasn't occurred yet. Many people might not know yet about it, so might be an interesting thing to at least look at the prices. Not financial advice, but I just found it interesting to see this here, and obviously this is a very, very big development in my opinion, although maybe Features might not be the biggest game, the biggest project, but it shows the potential of what can be done with these NFTs. So I'm very curious to see what happens with this project here. But that is it for today. I hope you liked the different insights, the bullish news, and what is happening around all of this market, the context. Let me know in the comments below what you think is going to happen to the Ecomi price in the medium term. Are we going to see more downside? Are we going to see still triple zeros, or do you think the bottom is in? Let me know about this. Let me know what you think about the Features news, and also let me know what you think about Jeremy Padawer helping Logan Paul to acquire this Pokémon card. Does that anything have to do with the Veve app? Do you think that this is something we should keep a closer eye on, or do you think nothing to do with it? Moving on. Now, wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon. Also a great weekend. And if you need to calm your mind and relax, maybe go out in nature, search for a beautiful place and just chill, get off of the whole crypto and collectible things for now, but don't lose out obviously on the essential drops like the stamp drop here. And yes, that is it. See you in the next video.